Ever stop to think about the invisible threads that hold our daily lives together? We usually think of the law as this distant, dramatic thing, something that only happens in courtrooms or parliament buildings. But the reality is so much more intimate than that. Welcome to this explainer, where we're going to trace how foundational laws shape absolutely everything we do, from establishing your very first personal identity all the way to securing the peace and harmony of the entire nation. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll be looking at civil identity and registration, rules of the road, local administrative laws, and finally, the Narcotics Act. Let's jump right in. All right, Section 1, Civil Identity and Registration. Let's look at your biggest legal milestones. Timing is absolutely crucial in civil law. The state relies on accurate, real-time data to function, so the law sets strict and, honestly, sometimes surprising deadlines for life's major events. If someone passes away, you have to notify a registrar within a tight 24-hour window from the moment of death or the moment it's discovered. That's a lightning-fast turnaround, but it prevents fraud and means legal estates can be handled immediately. On the happier side of things, you have a 15-day window to register a newborn's birth. And that exact same 15-day rule applies when you pack up and move houses. Hey, and that's not just a gentle suggestion either. A 1,000 baht fine is waiting for anyone who forgets to file those relocation notifications. Plus, keeping your identity current is a recurring duty, since an ID card is valid for 8 years before it needs renewing. It's a very strict system of accounting for where citizens are. Now, what's truly fascinating here is the age window for actually holding that ID. Any Thai national whose name is on a house registration certificate has to hold an ID card between the ages of 7 and 70. Think about that for a second. For a 7-year-old kid, this little piece of plastic is essentially their very first formal introduction to the state. From that young age all the way to becoming a septuagenarian, this card acts as the ultimate key. It unlocks vital social, economic, and political privileges all across Thailand. It transforms you from just a person standing in a room into a fully recognized member of a nation. Moving out of the house, we hit Section 2, Rules of the Road and Navigating Public Spaces. The whole point of the Land Traffic Act of 1979 is beautifully simple: reduce traffic accidents and save lives. But when you look a little closer, it's actually all about the social contract. It starts with the basic physical act of buckling a seatbelt if you're in a car, or strapping on a motorcycle helmet if you're riding. It might feel like you're just protecting yourself, but think about it. A serious injury on the road stops traffic, drains emergency medical resources, and really deeply impacts the community. Buckling up is a prime example of a personal duty that directly serves broader public safety. When you're zooming down the road at 60 miles an hour, your safety depends entirely on the predictability of the strangers around you. You have to obey traffic lights, staying firmly behind the stop line when it's red, and you must stay in your proper vehicle lanes. That means cyclists have to use sidewalks or bicycle lanes and are strictly forbidden from riding on the expressway where they'd be a massive, unpredictable hazard. And naturally, driving while intoxicated or staring down at a mobile phone completely shatters that predictability. By simply following these guidelines, you aren't just dodging a traffic ticket, you are actively cooperating in a massive, real-time system that literally keeps your neighbors alive. Zooming out a bit more, we arrive at Section 3, Local Administrative Laws. This is all about governing the community. You can think of local governance as a tightly coordinated relay race of approvals. Whether you live in a tiny subdistrict or a sprawling town municipality, rules and financial provisions don't just magically appear out of thin air. They have to flow from the municipal council. For a subdistrict, the council chairman passes the baton to the chief district officer, who then hands it up to the governor for final approval. For a town or city municipality, the flow shifts, going to the governor for consideration before passing to the mayor for that final green light. This isn't just bureaucratic red tape. It's a carefully structured system of checks and balances to make sure no single person holds unilateral power over a community's resources. This division of power ensures that different levels of local government can effectively handle their specific needs without stepping on each other's toes. While your local municipality gets its hands dirty with the tangible, day-to-day operations, like balancing the annual budget and making sure the waste management system actually picks up your trash, the provincial administrative organization takes a step back. They handle the broader financial ecosystem, focusing on regional tax and fee impositions. Together, they create a highly complementary framework that keeps local development running smoothly. Finally, we hit the macro level in Section 4, the Narcotics Act, focusing on protecting national stability. To really grasp the sheer severity of this law, we have to look at the physiological trap of narcotics,
The law explicitly defines these substances not just by their immediate high, but by the desperate need they create for continually increasing dosages, which leads to crippling withdrawal symptoms when the substance is taken away. This gives us a crucial insight into why the government steps in so aggressively here. When addiction takes hold, individuals become unable to work. They drop out of the labor force, meaning they can't contribute to the economy. Careers are ruined, families are destroyed, and crime rates often spike as individuals try to fund their habits. It is a cascading collapse that threatens the entire nation's stability.
But, not all threats are exactly the same, so the legal response can't just be identical across the board. Because narcotics pose such a profound, multi-layered threat, the Narcotics Act of 1979 meticulously classifies these substances to properly regulate, monitor, and penalize their presence in society. The law breaks this massive spectrum of threat down into 5 distinct categories. Up at the very top, in Category 1, you have extremely destructive forces like heroin and amphetamines. Category 2 drops a tier to substances classified as less immediately dangerous, like cocaine and morphine. Category 3 makes room for legitimate medical uses, covering medicines that utilize Category 2 ingredients. Now, Category 4 is where it gets highly strategic. It targets the chemical precursors, capturing the supply chain before the drugs are even manufactured. Finally, Category 5 acts as a catch-all for narcotics not included in those first 4, specifically noting plants like marijuana and kratom. To combat this network, the law casts a super wide net. It's illegal to manufacture, import, or export these substances. It's illegal to distribute or sell them. It is illegal to possess them. It's illegal to consume them. And get this, it is even illegal to advertise them for sale. The rhetoric of the law is crystal clear. The goal is to completely suffocate the market from every possible angle, leaving absolutely no legal gray area. And the penalties, they're incredibly steep to match the severity of that threat. For example, if a person is convicted of simply consuming a Category I substance, they aren't just getting a slap on the wrist, they're looking at a prison term ranging from 6 months to 3 years, alongside a massive fine of 10,000 to 60,000 baht. Think about the sheer financial weight of a 60,000 baht fine for your average citizen. It's designed to be deeply punitive. The state takes its duty to enforce these laws very seriously, all in the name of ensuring good health, peace, and a stable quality of living for the entire country. So as we wrap up this journey from the micro level of registering a newborn and holding an ID card, through the predictable traffic laws of our public streets, up to the governance of our communities and the macro level fight against narcotics, I want to leave you with this thought. The law isn't just a set of arbitrary restrictions passed down from above, it is the invisible architecture of a functioning society. Ask yourself, the next time you register an address or buckle your seatbelt, are you just dodging a fine or are you actively laying a brick in the foundation of a safer nation? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and never stop questioning the rules that govern our reality.